Dr. Corona is still going. Is it still an independent concern? You're there as a board member still. How are you still involved? Because you obviously have a full-time job as CEO of Just Paid. What is your current relationship with them? And I mean, they are one of the most successful YC companies, but I don't think a lot of people know about them. They're not sort of a big public face like Airbnb or Stripe or something. Yet you're one of the most successful ones. So what does that actually mean, and just set the stage properly?
Well, my last company, Dr. Chrono, was like a medical record platform. It's not something everybody uses, it's not a consumer-facing product like Apple Watch. When you build infrastructure companies, they're not in everyone's like face all of the time. So a lot of these infrastructure companies just sit in the background and like run parts of America. And that's what I built, was like an infrastructure company. Basically, medical records, when you see a doctor, they basically do a clinical note while you're in an encounter with them. There's labs involved, maybe there's, prescriptions involved, possibly. And then it's all connected to like billing. So, the world of healthcare runs on medical billing, and doctors have to get paid. And there's a lot of insurance companies out there. And so we built a real platform that allowed doctors to run their businesses in a really efficient way. I would say the claim to fame for me in that company was I built with my co-founder and the team. We built the very first medical record on the iPad, and we launched it day one when the iPad came out, which was revolutionary. So sounds kind of silly now, and whatever. There's companies like Uber out there and Lyft and Airbnb, and you can geolocate and figure out like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? That sort of thing. But like at the time, nobody was building on iPads. And what was unique about the iPad when it first launched was the screen size had enough real estate for a doctor to see a lot of information. So there was a lot of nuances with being mobile as a doctor. Doctors, get up, they walk around, they see patients room to room. They're taking care of a lot of people. It was a form factor that doctors were really excited by at the time. And right place, right time, right team. We kind of had a feeling that it was going to be a unique experience for doctors. We built on it when everybody else ignored it. It sounds insane. Like it's obvious, like Spotify on the iPad. There's companies also that like were growing up at the same time. Like there was a company called PlanGrid, which did construction blueprints on an iPad. Sounds so obvious, but it wasn't so obvious back then. So there were these, I would call them like really successful companies that came out of nowhere that built full businesses and like had these huge businesses based on mobile. And you forget, but 2007, the iPhone came out. 2008 was kind of this like period where a strange energy was in the air and you knew something was different because the iPhone had a browser and you felt like there was something that could be done when you're using a phone with a browser versus what, before then there was a flip phones and there was Nokia and there was BlackBerry. They were functional and they were powerful, but they weren't what we have today, which people really take for granted. The world has significantly changed in the last like 20 years.
So you launched on iPad, it gets huge. And so where's the company today, and what's your involvement with it, and sort of what are the big outcomes that has made it one of the top YC backed companies?
The company was sold in 2021. We sold it to an awesome company called EverCommerce. They're a large public company. You can look them up, and they're operating Dr. Chrono today, and they're basically taking it to the next level, which is exciting to see like a whole team like take it and like run with it. So
that was a 13-year journey, a presumably successful, exit and everything else for you and the team, and exciting.
Yeah, it was I'd call it like a really great. You want your product to be like given to somebody who like will do amazing things with it, and I feel like that was like one of those moments where you just feel like, wow, this is awesome. You have a great team like that believes in you. Also, large public companies, they have a lot of resources. They have a lot of team members that are passionate. They're very, strategic in the way they think about, the world and those sorts of things. So a lot of companies, it's sad to see them like struggle or die, or they become zombie companies, which is like a flat company and it can't like get more revenue. So for us, it was a really great, honestly, experience. And I had moved on from Dr. Chrono, but there are a lot of amazing people there that are just running it and building it.